Welcome back. It is 1678, only one more year after this until the end of the decade. In the last one, we have Gideon doing his university stuff and getting a crush on Alice. We have Phineas working on his apothecary stuff and taking care of the household. What else? Bridget and Thaddeus told the family about their engagement. Thaddeus got kicked out of the house. Meredith and Timothy are woohoo partners. Trinity died trying to protect Charity from Thomas. And Pullman is being a jerk. So, birthdays. Thanks, Hobart II and Tasunke Waldrick, no 4, 8, or 17. Pretty good. Amos Waldrick, no 13 or 19. So far, so good. Ninigret Waldrick, no 3, 9, or 20. That's good because I just decided who you were going to marry. Obadiah Hobart the second, no 2, 6, 11, or 15. And then Delilah has to get at least a 9. Oh, Delilah. Okay. Wow, there are so many people over here. Okay. Townies. 1678. Nathaniel Smith, how many more years will you be living? 18. Evil people always live the longest. I think that's it, though, for birthdays over here. And you can see our townie tracker is getting a lot smaller. I think we're going to be able to add some more families in and stuff for the next generation. So I'm excited about that. If you guys do want to upload families for me, the hashtag is Megan Plays Sims, Megan with an H. And yeah, I'm going to be adding some more Sims in soon. So I'm excited about that. And I think that's it. Let's hop into the game. Okay, we are going to start over here in Cameron's house, actually, which is unusual for us. So we're going to start here and we're going to go to the community center and the church area. And Cameron, as the current captain, is going to give a speech. So he is going to be talking and whatever. So people are paying attention and enjoying and, being community togetherness. So that is what is going on here. And then, he tries to stay up to date with what is going on in the community, what is happening, and what is going on with the different people. He tries to mediate the best he can, and he tries to make sure all the new people feel welcome. So he has been trying to, integrate the Johnson family into the community because, they're new and then they lost their brother, and it's just been like a lot. And so, especially now that Bridget and Thaddeus are engaged to be married today, so he is just going to make sure that everybody feels good. And, someone who hasn't gotten a lot of attention is Annabelle. Annabelle is the youngest Johnson sister, and she is just finding her way. She just became a teenager recently, and she is just figuring out what she wants. Cameron is telling her, he can help her figure out who would be, a good man to marry and, how to, kind of come into her own and all of that stuff. He's being, Cameron definitely, like we've learned, has a hero complex. So he is like, hey, if you need anything, I can make it happen, just ask. And he definitely, with the whole thing where he married Elizabeth and, because mostly, he does love her and he did, they have a good life together, but he wanted to save her. And so I think that he kind of looks for that as he looks for people to save, to help. He, gives him an ego boost. He is definitely one of those guys that, always wants to kind of be congratulated on how much, how helpful he is. So that is why he is getting to know Annabelle. And then we also are having a baby be born. So this is baby Barnabas Hobart. Diamond asked that we nickname him Barney, and I think that that is a great nickname for Barnabas. So he is now been born and he survived, and mom is fine. So everyone is good there. So that is that on that. And then we're going to update the family tree and everything, just making sure that everything is all good. So here we go. And everyone is spending time together, spending time as a community. And then also, what he wants to do now is, of course, Elizabeth has told him about what happened between Thomas and Charity, and just like all of the drama that has been around that, and how, they're worried that Thomas is going to ruin Charity's reputation. And Cameron, like, he does not want to deal with another family scandal, right? And he wants to protect his daughter. And so he is going to talk to Thomas and be like, look, I don't know what happened. I don't care to know, but I'm telling you right now, you better stay away from my family, stay away from my daughter. You're going to regret it. Like, I am not going to let this just blow over. Like, you are going to keep your mouth shut and everything. And Thomas, of course, is like, well, Charity should have married me, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, look, dude, I don't care. I do not care. So get lost. Next, we are headed over to our main household. So we're going to do some chores there. Again, we have Phineas working on the apothecary stuff, taking care of the garden, taking care of the chickens, taking care of the bees, really maintaining the household while Gideon goes to university. So we are trying to at least keep Gideon able to graduate. Like, I don't think he's going to get great grades because we're not really playing this household all the time, but I'm trying to do my best to at least make sure he doesn't flunk out of anything. So, we are going to just do those chores. And then also, because we have Alice, who has been a big help to Gideon with his schoolwork and stuff, but they are still just friends. They are still friends, and they are, focused on the schooling and everything. And so she does come over every once in a while to help him with his schoolwork. And so today she brings over her sister, Abigail. And so Abigail is here as well, and Phineas is just going to chat with her a bit because, Alice and Gideon are doing homework. So Abigail and Phineas are a little bored with, you know, that situation. And so they're just chatting, and it turns out they actually have good compatibility, which is really cool. So they have good compatibility, and they just get talking, and it just goes so, so well. It's just really going very easily, and the conversation is flowing, and they all have dinner together, and it's just like really nice. And Gideon kind of makes this joke so that he's saying like, oh, well, how fun would it be if, brothers married sisters, right? So he is definitely hinting that maybe Phineas and Abigail could have something going on. Not that he even has anything going on with Alice, but I think Alice is expecting that, once he graduates college, that he would be proposing to her because of all of her help and because of all the time they spent together. And so I think that he is interested in, maybe setting something up for his brother too. And I think Gideon is definitely someone who, not wants to control the situations around him, but like I think that he sees that Phineas is just only about the apothecary stuff, taking care of the house and everything. He's like, I'll help you out. I'll help my little brother out and help him get, be able to court someone. So he is setting that up a bit there and enjoying the, the brothers potentially being with sisters. So that would be fun for them and make their families still very close. I mean, they're twins, so they are very close, even though we made them twins later. But so he is going to take care of the garden a little bit here as well. And then we have another baby being born. So actually, Anoli Waldrick has been born. I did mess up the name for a second there before I realized which Waldrick family it was. But so this is Anoli Waldrick, and he has survived. And we're going to get Ruth pregnant again. So they're in good shape. All of our babies are surviving right now, knock on wood. So then we'll just get her pregnant again and move on. Okay, so we're going to update the family tree. And then we're going to head back into our household, just kind of taking care of the morning chores and everything, selling the extras, and then we are going to head out again. So next we are going to go to see Thaddeus, who is marrying Bridget today. So we're going to make sure she's a young adult, and then we are going to come over here and invite everybody to their wedding. So they are very excited to get married. They are a very sweet couple. I really do like them a lot together. And, I hope that they have a, really good life together. We'll see what happens. Hopefully nobody dies right away because I feel like that's been happening a lot lately. We have a lot of couples who get married and then maybe a year or two later one of them dies. So we're trying our best not to replicate that. But yes, these two are super cute together. They definitely, they have their own house now. They are going to be happy. And you know what? Honestly, good for them because they are getting out from the toxic household that is the Smith household. So, it's better to leave to get out of that, and instead of being stuck and being you know in all of that drama. Also, what are all these Sims wearing is the real question. But yes, so we are going to just have their little post-wedding meal in the rain and move on from there. But yeah, so everyone is doing pretty good and enjoying the day. This is our happy stuff. This is our no drama happy things. So that is between Thaddeus and Bridget. So after the wedding, of course, his whole family attends and they're all very happy for him and everything. And Nathaniel's kind of happy to have him out of the house. He's like, oh, one more. I just need to get Timothy out of the house now. So he would be glad for that. But Timothy is not wanting to go anywhere. Timothy, we'll talk about him in just a second. So we're going to have them move in together. We're going to change her name. We're going to update the spreadsheet. We're going to update the family tree. We're going to finally get to add the Johnson family to the family tree, which is really exciting. I have been waiting for this. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for this. So we are very excited about that. And we are going to come over here, make sure they're pregnant. I did roll for them to have the, I messed this up because, and thank you for reminding me that we are saying, oh, townies only have one baby. So we are going to have them just have the one pregnancy. For now, I did get a recommendation from, let me get your name before I forget it. I did get a recommendation from Emma Anderson saying that maybe we could try something different to have the townies kind of have their babies, because a lot of them have been having the babies just for the baby to die. So that is definitely something we can consider. I don't know yet. Your suggestion on the D4 was a good one. I don't know yet what the plan is, but we'll see where it goes. We do have a manageable number of townies now, so I'm not opposed to changing that rule. So let's also come over here to see Timothy. And so him and Meredith have been really good friends and are focused on their friendship. They haven't really gotten into anything romantic, but today it's going to be something a little different. So today what we have is Meredith and Timothy talking about Timothy's problems with his father and his brother and the house and everything. So he's basically saying to Meredith, like, look, I want to be able to inherit the house. I don't want to get kicked out when I get married and all that stuff. Like, I don't know what to do. And Meredith is like, well, there are ways to convince your father. Like, I'm sure we can figure something out. Like, I'm sure that you and I can come up with a plan together. And he's kind of like, oh, you and I? And she's like, well, yeah, like, you're going to marry me, right? If I help you. And so he's kind of like, oh, like, they're like striking a deal kind of. And, they've been woohoo partners, so they've been close. But up until now, they haven't been romantic. And so he's kind of seeing her in a new light because they are coming up with this plan where they are going to basically get the house. And poor Thaddeus, but anyway, it's fine. Next, we are going to head home really quick because I wanted to check on the university stuff. I believe it's the last day of the semester, so I just wanted to check in and be able to, see what his grades ended up being, and then also be able to sign him up for another semester. So we are going to be here for a little bit, but we also are going to have Phineas and Abigail hang out. Unfortunately, she just leaves immediately from here. And then the homework book gets corrupted for the university because we left in the middle of him doing his homework, and then it's just this whole thing where I have to then go out and go into Managed Worlds and then fix it and buy a new homework book, and I'm blah blah blah. Anyway, so we're just accepting things the way they are. But yes, so while Gideon is working on his schooling and trying to get through his first semester there out of 3, because I had him take 4 classes. So his first semester is coming to a close, and meanwhile, Phineas and Abigail are getting closer. Now, Phineas, and Abigail have become very good friends really quickly. They have good compatibility and everything. And so, um, Phineas is kind of taking the hint, and she's an orphan too. He's an orphan. They're both, neither of them really have an adult to advocate for them or anything. And so she has a big crush on him. You just saw that right now. They are flirting autonomously. It's just all going really well. We're going to have them start an actual relationship. And of course, since they didn't have any adults to teach them the proper way to do things, they are giving each other, kisses and stuff. So they are getting really close and they're enjoying that. So final grades, he did pass. I mean, he got a D plus in one of his classes, but he passed. And we're going to sign him up for another semester. But yeah, so we are in good shape with Phineas and Abigail. They are in a relationship. It's even further along than Gideon has gotten with Alice. So that's really interesting that Phineas was able to kind of jump right over there. But Gideon is focused on his schooling and everything. He is very focused on trying to get ahead in life, and so he's not so much focusing on the romantic side of things right now. But Phineas has all the time in the world for that, so that's what he's doing. And I think we're in good shape here. We're just going to check them out with some of their stuff. I'm trying to, yeah, you can see this is where the homework book is all messed up and I don't know what to do. And anyway, so I have to fix that. We have to go to Managed Worlds, then go back and blah, blah, blah. I probably should skip through all that, but maybe I'll talk a little longer and we'll see how much extra footage we have that we need to get through. But yes, so Phineas and Abigail are really on track there, and I'm really happy about that. I think that I'm really glad that they have good compatibility. I think that they will be able to have a good marriage together. Although we'll see. I remember hearing that we want more chaotic air next time from you guys. So I am very much willing to make things a little crazy. We need some things to happen in our main household after all, right? Especially if we want to start focusing on our main family more and more. So I think Gideon and Phineas are who we're going to be following for the majority of the time going forward. Of course, that could change at any moment. Who really knows, right? But yeah, so Gideon is currently with Alice, even though they're not romantic yet, but they are planning to get married after he finishes school. And then Phineas is with Abigail right now. So the two of them are making their way, considering their birthdays are in 4 years now, I want to say. So in 4 years, we will be trying to get them married and everything. So next, we are going to head over and see Temperance. So if you remember last time, Trinity ended up overexerting herself with her magic and lost her life because she was trying to find a way to stop Thomas from using spells to hurt people. And so basically, Temperance is aware of what her son has done. She's aware of Trinity, losing her life, and she just is having a really hard time because I mean the truth is like Thomas is now her last child alive. Like she had 3 children, 2 of them are dead, and the only one left is a piece of trash. And so she has a lot of feelings about it because, she's his mother and, she never wanted him to turn out like this, and she just wanted to protect her children, and that's why she told them about the magic. And so it's a big struggle for her because she's lost everyone else, and she doesn't want to also lose Thomas, but at the same time, she knows that like it cannot go on like this. Like Thomas cannot be allowed to just do whatever he wants and be like free reign because he is dangerous and he's dangerous to other people. And so that is one of her big struggles, is trying to figure out exactly what is, her role in solving this problem and what it's going to mean for her and her family. She already has lost everything else. And I feel so bad for poor Temperance, has had such a tough life. Her father was trash, her husband was trash, now her son's trash. She is definitely having a tough life. So I feel bad for her, but she is going to have to take responsibility for her son, and she is going to have to figure out a solution. Also, this like sales button in the upper right hand corner that will not go away, it just keeps popping up. They need to stop with that. Anyway, moving on, Ruth is now going to change her clothes to match more her own community's outfits with Native American clothing that I could find online for CC, which was actually not a lot, unfortunately. But she is doing her best because if you remember last time, Pullman was very much like on her about like, making sure that she is a good representative as his wife. And so she's trying. And so Pullman is going to talk to his brothers a bit and have this conversation with them and just basically be like, I think we need to expand. I think we need to, meet other settlements. I think we need to meet other, I don't know if they're called tribes at this point, but like, like they need to meet other Native American indigenous people, and enhance their network and connections, because all they really know is them and then the Yazi family in their area. I know it's not just the Yazis, which is why I hesitated, but you know what I mean. So he's like, we need to meet more people. So he is trying to kind of take ownership of that because he wants to be seen as a good leader. He wants to be seen as, a go-getter and someone who they can trust, because again, he is hoping that because his brother didn't have any sons, he would be able to kind of take control of things. So we'll see where that goes. Then we're going to do some birthday stuff. Unfortunately, Delilah is passing away this year. But for birthdays, we have Thanks Hobard II becoming a toddler, Tasunke Waldrick becoming a toddler, Amos Waldrick becoming a child, Ninigret Waldrick becoming a young adult, Bridget, now Smith, becoming a young adult, Barnabas Barney Hobard becoming an infant, and Inoli Waldrick being an infant, also being born, becoming an infant, both of them. So those are our birthdays. And then we'll just continue on next year. Let's see what's going on next year. Birthdays. No one particularly interesting. But yeah, so we're just going to continue on. We're getting closer and closer to the boys being able to have their birthdays. Their birthdays are in a few sim years. 1682. So yeah, 4 years from now, but I'm excited for it. We are preparing for them to get married immediately so that they can get married and that we can be able to start having babies with them, because we're going to make a big family. That's the goal this generation, is we need to have a ton of kids. We need to do that. So I'm excited. I hope you are too. And I'll catch you in the next one.